Hey everyone, welcome to the 131st edition of the Animated Girls Profile Confidential. And the title says it best, we are looking at Cosmo. That's right, and no, we're not talking Cosmo from Very Odd Parents. Oh no, not that guy. We're talking about Cosmo Seedring, I guess that's how they pronounce it, from Sonic X, and mostly the third season of Sonic X. And yeah, the whole third season, known as the Meta X Saga, was, to me, very good. Everybody was wondering, okay, how are they going to, as far as the third season goes, everybody was pretty much wondering, okay, how are they going to do a third season with Sonic X? Because obviously the intentions were to get one more season, and they decided on both continents, but around the world basically, hey, let's do this. Let's bring in some new characters, just for this season. And Cosmo and her people, her planet, her history became part of it. Now, Cosmo, as you can tell by the pictures, is a plant girl who is basically the last surviving member of her race. She's the last surviving member of her race. Her mother was basically part of a higher council and everything of said race. But we find out that basically certain members of that race had other intentions in mind. They had basically gotten corrupted by power, and that it caused them to go into a more evolutionized form. Sometimes they would use this evolutionized form to try to do good, protect their family, their friends, but sometimes they would end up being lost to the form that they would become, which was basically kind of like a very dinosaur-like form. And if they overexerted themselves too much, it would eventually kill them. And, we do see flashbacks throughout the season of this happening. In the story, we see this happening in various episodes in flashbacks throughout the season. And this season, I will put it this way, this Meta X Saga season is looked at as probably one of the darkest ones in the entire run of Sonic X. And what a way to go out. I'll say that, what a way to go out. Now, Cosmo also is portrayed as a little kid and everything, kind of around the same age as Tails, which basically obviously leads to the fact that these two will fall in love with each other. And there were a lot of hints of it happening, potentially happening naturally, naturally being progressed in that area between the two, both of them kind of having like a fondness for each other. But it wouldn't be until they get to this one planet where basically there is I don't know if, I can't remember or recall if it's a potion or a spell or something, but basically the end result is the two that are meant to fall in love or, are going to be falling in love with each other, basically put into that situation, have to go through again, I don't know what it is, but they have to, basically the end result is be in front of a full moon, and that causes the love to be activated. That causes the affection, the romance to take place. And in this episode, Amy finds out about it and everything. I guess they research it and all that. I don't know how they I don't know if they pick up some of these people or what, or some of these planet citizens or what. But they find out about it. They research about it, I should say, on their spaceship, on the tornado, which is now a spaceship, if you will. Like I say, they research about it, and Amy is all enthusiastic about it to the point that she looks at this planet where basically kind of love is like one of the main properties, is like her biggest chance to get Sonic to fall for her. So she goes to all extremes to make this happen, even to the point that she finds out, like I said, about, this one, I guess you could say ritual, potion, magic thing that happens like once in a while with a full moon, that she feels and believes that if she can get herself and Sonic into that predicament, or get Sonic in that area with her, that Sonic will fall in love with her and that she'll finally get what she wants. Unfortunately, it doesn't happen, and instead Cosmo and Tails end up being put into that situation, and they end up, under the effects of the ritual, the spell, and thus the affection and attraction that they had towards each other before, fully comes out, and they basically fall in love with each other. I mean, Amy, even in the English dub, comments angrily, get your own full moon to fall in love with, or fall in love under, or something like that. Because, she's upset that her plan backfired. But yeah, Cosmo does play an integral part big time in the third season, mostly towards the end, which is looked at as one of the more bittersweet, sad endings in any Sonic show, to say the least. But, yeah, she does play an integral part. She is able to feel the pain. She's able to talk to like the green, like the trees, the plants of the planets that they land on, sense of whether or not they're hurting, they're alive, if there's a problem. And she can also sense when the heart of a planet is being stolen. And one of the things about the third season with the Metarex is they steal the heart of the planets for more power. And what we find out about the Metarex later on is that they are basically the same. They're basically the race of Cosmo. They're basically part of Cosmo's race that, like I said earlier, got corrupted with power. Now, what's interesting about Cosmo is apparently they had, I guess, captured her or something like that, and they implanted some kind of spying device in her to spy on planets, well, wherever she would land. And, it's implanted into her eye. Basically, the way they implanted it into her, is like, you try to remove that implant, it's going to blind her because it's in her eyes. So they can't do anything about it. But they do figure out a way of trying to maybe, I don't know if they scramble it or they just kind of find a way to work around it. I think they find a way to work around it. That's what they do. They find a way, easy for me to say, to work around it, and thus use it to, I guess, to their advantage or something. Anyway, just getting some coffee there. Anyway, like I said, she plays a huge part, even at the end, where she finally does understand what her purpose is, and her purpose is to help restore balance to the planet and restore, peace to the galaxy, but also get those that misunderstood, those that became the Metarex, those that are her people, to understand that, you let power corrupt you, and by basically being that last beacon of hope, she's able to basically correct the wrongs that happened. And her final evolutionary form isn't just growing into a full-grown woman, but also becoming a tree that, a tree that basically plants itself literally on a planet. And Tails has to blow that tree away, basically destroy it, killing Cosmo, but it's all part of a destiny. And there is a scene where you kind of see like Cosmo's spirit approach Tails and kiss him and then kind of go into him or something like that, kind of like go through him or go into him, like, now she's part of him, or at least her spirit is going to be part of him. And then the ending of Sonic X, you see like this little seedling that's left that Sonic gives Tails, and he plants it into a pot, and we see it sprout a little bit of green, kind of hinting at maybe the fact that had a fourth season been made, Cosmo probably would have made a return to form. Well, she would have made a return to form, and she would remember everything because that's her that's been planted. That's a seed. That seed is part of her that's being planted. It would allow her to grow and be reborn or something. But yeah, Cosmo definitely played a very huge integral part. And at first, fans were not too fond of her, but over time, throughout the season, and even later on after the show ended, fans have grown fond of her. They've actually liked the character. They thought, looking back at her relationship with Tails, and how it developed, they thought that was cute and adorable. And there are people that petition, just like with Sally, maybe not as big or as loud or as vibrant as Sally's petition to get her back, the rally for Sally. However, there are people that want to rally to get Cosmo back into the Sonic franchise as well. But yeah, that's all I can really say on Cosmo from Sonic X. Let me know what your thoughts are down below in the comment section. Live chats are available. Live chat is open, where super chats and super stickers are open and will be available. Super thanks after the premiere. Also, you can check me out at patreon.com/BWRoses for the $1, $3 tier. You can also check me out at Venmo at Brian-Walmer-2, Cash App at BWRoses98. You can also, ladies and gentlemen, check me out at my Teespring store for merchandise you can't get anywhere else. You can also check me out at Vimeo at BW Roses for content you can't get here on YouTube, and BW Roses discussions at all your favorite audio podcast locations except for Pandora. But that's all I'm going to say here for the 131st edition of the Animated Girls Profile Confidential on Cosmo. 131st, that is. And until next time, guys, I am out.